Former Labor MP Michael Danby and Senator from South Australia, Liberal Senator Leah Blythe. Great to see you both. I mentioned earlier in the show, the Liberal Party has finally decided to ditch the ridiculous net zero targets. Speaking on Sky News this morning, Susan Lee doubled down on the decision.
Australians deserve better. In a country with energy abundance, we can do this in a way that delivers affordable energy and responsible emissions reduction.
Leah, you were in the room when this decision was made. Now, I understand all this, we've got all this kind of equivoc, the kumbaya stuff about emissions, but let's just ditch that as well eventually. The important thing here for me was you're ditching net zero. What was the atmosphere like in the room?
Look, the atmosphere in the room, it wasn't quite your champagne popping, Rowan, that you're describing. For us, it was really respectful debate, and I think it was the Liberal Party at its best, and that we were all able to come together. And yes, it was a marathon 5-hour meeting, but it's really important that we have these discussions. And I was, really proud, I guess, of all of my colleagues for having such, well thought through contributions. And while we didn't all agree, I think what I walked away with was that largely we are on the same page for 95% of the policy that we were looking to adopt, which is really exciting for the Australian people.
Okay, Michael Danby, you've been inside not the Liberal Party room, but certainly the Labor caucus many times. You know how tense these things are. What do you make of the Liberals ditching net zero? Is it genuine, or as Pauline Hanson was saying earlier in the show, she's not convinced?
Well, they'll have to show that it's genuine, because now they've got a point of difference. And as you and other commentators in Sky have pointed out, they're going to face the united front of the coven of cultists in the Canberra Press Gallery, plus the renewable billionaires. So it's going to be tough days. And before we move on, Rowan, can I just say, my ex-partner Richo on this program, we'll miss him. He was the weapon of the Labor right that's now virtually disappeared in federal Labor, utterly defeated.
Absolutely. I had a long relationship with Richo, and although we disagreed on virtually many things, we always enjoyed the debate so much more than anything else, and I'll miss him deeply, and it was great to have you and him together on the show so often. Michael, thanks for those kind words as well about Richo. Leah, are we going to see the Liberal Party fight in the same degree they managed to fight on The Voice, or are we going to have this kind of kumbaya stuff all the way for the next 18 months? Have a listen to Prime Minister Anthony Albanese already attacking the Libs' position.
The Coalition are choosing to take Australia backwards. Australians cannot afford to keep paying the price of coalition infighting when it comes to climate policy.
At a time where cost of living pressures are hanging around, the Coalition would push energy prices up, not down. That's what their announcement yesterday is all about.
Leah, how's the fight going to go?
Look, I think we are going to come out absolutely swinging on this. We owe it to the Australian people to come out and offer them a point of differentiation. I'm not surprised at Labor's reaction to our policy position. I think nothing scares Labor more than offering Australians, they've got the choice between a government who is obsessed with emissions reductions that make no difference at all globally to our environment, and they're looking to cripple the Australian people to do it. Or they've got an opposition which is willing to come together and say, you know what, we're going to put Australians first. We want cheap, reliable energy for the Australian people. We want things to be made in Australia again, not just exporting our gas and coal offshore for others to burn and then send us back products that we've got to buy. We want to bring those jobs back, and we're going to do our part, of course, in terms of what the globe is doing. But at the moment, all emissions are up across the globe. Fossil fuels are being used at higher rates than they've ever been used before. we don't see any sense in crippling the Australian economy to meet some kind of, global organisation's targets for us. We've got to do what's in our national interests.
Well said. Now, Michael, former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, he isn't thrilled with the Libs net zero decision. He's lashed it as a, wait for it, Trumpian campaign against renewables. Michael, what do you think of that?
Well, he's responsible for the ridiculous battery in the snowy mountains. Labor's slapping its thighs at this. They think that they've got the Liberals in a position, but they're wrong. The engineering has finally met the ideology. People in their power bills will see the increasing cost of electricity because of renewables. And we're in an upside-down world, Rowan, where Matt Canavan sounds like a Labor person talking about poor people and industries' energy bills. And Labor's got, by contrast, a Don Quixote literally tilting at windmills. Comrade Chris Bowen, who is an ideologue, a cultist, it doesn't seem to be able to understand that poor people and pensioners, which is the core of the Labor Party, want cheap power.
Absolutely, 100%, Michael. Leah, just quickly listen to Allegra Spender. So this is the Teal's attack on the Liberals' new position. Have a listen.
I'm actually worried for the country because I think that this is a very poor decision by the Liberal Party. The Nats have basically forced the Liberal Party to abandon net zero, to abandon credible climate action.
So this is going to be fascinating, Leah. How are those inner city Liberals are they going to go on the attack against the Teals, which I believe they should, or are they going to try and do this pussyfooting around, oh, no, don't worry, we're still in Paris? What's it going to be?
I think the Liberal Party has to be strong on this, and we've got to start rebuking some of the commentary that independents like Allegra Spender put out there. I mean, if we really want to do our part for the environment, then following along with what Labor's policy, and look, the independents support that, they're proposing basically destroying our natural environment by putting up wind turbines, solar farms, transmission lines. They will basically destroy the planet in the name of saving it. And certainly Australia has some of the most pristine coastlines and natural environment. And, Labor are basically planning to put bulldozers through it. And that's not good for the environment. So I think the Liberal Party needs to be very strong and as a coalition, showing that our policy is not only economically responsible, but it means that we won't be tearing up our natural environment in the name of saving it either.
Michael Danby and Leah Blythe, great to chat to you both on this momentous day. Thanks so much for being on The World According to Rowan Dean.